Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Daze and welcome to this review of NXT Takeover Brooklyn 3, and it was an absolutely fantastic show. It felt like it needed something towards the end because actually I would say the worst match was the main event. And even towards the end of the main event, you know, absolutely brilliant. It was really enjoyable. And, you know, brand new NXT champion. It was weird. I was watching it and it was like, yeah, this is cool. This is cool. And then Adam Cole came out. And the way they did it as well, he kind of came through the crowd. The crowd were like going crazy. It was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. So Adam Cole comes out. Obviously Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly are still around as well. They came out first. They're in the ring. And Adam Cole comes out, kicks Drew McIntyre in the face. And that faction, I said it in my reaction video, it screams the Shield. It really does, because they're already attacking the tag team champions and holding up the titles. So clearly that's what Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish want. And then you've got Adam Cole attacking Drew McIntyre and then holding up the NXT championship. That's clearly what Adam Cole is after. I'm not sure what this faction are going to call themselves, but I can see them having a very tasty feud with Sanity. Obviously, well, they're going to have enemies absolutely everywhere because they're going to have Drew McIntyre after them. They're going to have the Authors of Pain after them. They're going to have Sanity after them. I should imagine William Regal will want to have a word as well. So, but it's brilliant, and they look cool. They look cool, and it's just what this show needed. It's just what this show needed to kind of give it that cherry on top. Let's go back to the start and go through each match. And I'll give you my thoughts. So Code Orange kick off the show, and I thought they were really cool. The music was really smart, but I loved the images being played over the top. It made NXT feel different. You just don't see live bands playing on main roster shows, so I really liked that. And then we went straight into the first match, Johnny Gargano against Andrade, Cien, Almas. I have written down the words match of the year contender because it really felt that way. It really felt that way. I mean, my notes, I've got love the fact that Johnny's ring attire is a little more colourful than when he was in DIY. The mat work was very crisp. Lots of front face locks and reversals. And, you know, I was questioning to myself, is Johnny the best in-ring technician that WWE have right now? Because it could be Cesaro. I actually think Johnny is definitely better than AJ Styles when it comes to that intricate reversals and little combinations. It's much more in line with Daniel Bryan. And so I just think he could be huge. He could be the next Daniel Bryan, Johnny Gargano. But yeah, the only thing really that let this down was the finish. It's the finish that I was expecting. Obviously outside interference means that Andrade picks up the victory, which is a real shame because the pace of this was so quick and it had so many nice moments that outside interference does make this feel cheap. Unfortunately, I don't think this is at the same level as Tyler Bate versus Pete Dunne. That is still my match of the year, but it was right up there. I think if you want to talk about the top 10 WWE matches of the year so far, this has to be in the conversation. Next, we got the Authors of Pain against Sanity. Loved the entrance for the Authors of Pain. They looked like some out of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the way they had their masks and they had like green camo, which was really cool. But this thing just kicked off from the start. There was no waiting around for bells or anything. It was just bang off. And it was carnage inside the ring, outside the ring. Eric Young took Killian Dane's place in the match, and you know, they were fighting in amongst the crowd. There was that wonderful spot where one of the Authors of Pain, Killian Dane, and Nikki Cross went through the table, and that was like right near the end, and basically Sanity pick up the victory. So we have new NXT Tag Team Champions, and then that's when Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly made their presence felt. They laid out everyone. It was total devastation. And I really think that we're probably heading towards a triple threat with them 3 teams. JR came out for the 3rd match, and that was Aleister Black against Hideo Itami. We knew this would be hard hitting. It was even harder hitting than what we thought. Aleister Black's nose, I mean, they even said on commentary that could be broken, and it really could be. But he took some shots. Great entrance as well. Like, I think it was it Code Orange that played him out? But yeah, Aleister Black just feels like a megastar. He came out, Hideo Itami, you know, striking, loads of reversals. Black Mass finished it. It was not the longest of matches, but then the first 2 matches had gone on for quite a time. So not the longest of matches, but it didn't need to be. This was relatively short, hard hitting. Just, it served a different purpose. The first match, the Johnny Gargano match, was just a technical masterpiece. The second match was absolute carnage. The third match was just striking like you just haven't seen before. It was so brutal. Some of the shots, it was absolutely brilliant. Really hard to know what the future holds for these two. Hideo needs wins. Aleister Black, you would think, would be moving to the NXT Championship, but that scene's quite crowded now that Adam Cole's in the mix, and Bobby Roode's going to want his rematch, and Aleister Black's bobbing around. You know, all of a sudden the NXT roster is stacked. So yeah, really difficult to know what's next for these guys, but I could see them doing a rematch. I don't see it being a different result though. I think Aleister Black would win again. Talking of rematches, Asuka versus Ember Moon, and this was a massive shock, big surprise. I totally expected Ember Moon to get the victory here. She doesn't. She hits the Eclipse as well. Asuka gets up from that. It looked like she was about to hit the second one. She doesn't, but she does still land some offense. She gets the closest 3 count, honestly. I thought it was done. But basically, Asuka manages to get on the Asuka lock, and there's no way out for Ember, and Ember is having to tap, forced to tap, kind of leaves upset again. You'd have to think that Ember will get that title eventually. They're constantly putting barriers in her way, and I really thought this was going to be the moment. It could be that we see Asuka get called up and she lets go of the title, relinquishes the title, or it could be that Asuka defends it one last time and loses it at the next takeover, or even just on an episode of NXT. Honestly, I'm not sure. I wouldn't be surprised to see Asuka get called up. I really think she has earned it. I think the main roster needs it. I think it's time. Because in all fairness, you know, once the Mae Young Classic is done, there's going to be this mad influx of female talent anyway. So you might as well get Asuka out of the way. Have to mention, though, this was a fantastic match. I didn't feel it was living up to the standards of the earlier matches, but about halfway through, the drama really started kicking in, and by the end, I saw a lot of people on Twitter saying it was their favourite match. Yeah, it could be. It's another match of the year contender just because of the drama at the end of it. I would say that the first match and the women's match are the 2 standout ones for me. Not sure if I missed anything, right? But I didn't see these people be shown on TV. But Dana Warrior was in the front row. I saw her. And I swear Ronda Rousey was as well. There was a woman, blonde hair, she had a black hat on, and she was just a few chairs down from Dana Warrior, and I swear it was Ronda Rousey. But I couldn't quite get a look at her face like enough. There was just a couple of quick shots, and I was like, that looks like Ronda, and it looked like the kind of thing Ronda would wear. So yeah, if anyone was there, if anyone knows, it felt like they were desperately trying to not show that side, the side that has the hard cam, because I think if it was Ronda, I don't think they wanted kind of the crowd going crazy and distracting from the action. I saw them during the main event, Drew McIntyre against Bobby Roode. Entrances were okay. Like Drew McIntyre came out to a load of people playing the bagpipes and whatnot. I actually thought Bobby Roode's entrance was quite flat, but he had an amazing robe. And I've got to talk about Asuka's entrance headdress thing. It was stunning. I really hope Mattel make a figure of that, because I think it's really cool. And yeah, at the main event, how was they ever going to follow Asuka versus Ember Moon? Like, I was spent. There was nothing left for me to give. It needed a match in between, something to kind of let you grab your breath. And I really think the start of the main event suffered as a result. By the time we got to the middle of the match, though, things really were picking up. And, you know, that finish, new champion, and as we said, then Adam Cole coming out. You were entertained if you watched this show tonight. You really was entertained. There was no bad matches. Very few moments that dragged. I would say there was only a little bit in the main event, and that moment from Adam Cole to close out the show, brilliant. Brilliant. NXT, as always, delivered. Awesome, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. There are links in the description to my reaction videos if you haven't seen those yet. I have no idea if I go into any more detail or not in them. I'm certainly not the Asuka one. I'm literally trying to not have a heart attack. So check them out if you think you might enjoy those. And hopefully you'll join me for SummerSlam reactions and SummerSlam reviews tomorrow night. Awesome, guys. Thanks a lot for watching, and hopefully see you again next time. Bye for now.